2, 1.
Hi, everybody. It's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in, find out all the latest news. Let's go, Rangers.
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't BS a Ranger fan. Can't BS a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Tuesday. It is February the 4th of the year 2020. You guys in the chat room, I don't know why some of you could hear it and some of you couldn't, but as long as some of you could hear it, then I know it's working. So I guess it's the old Blog Talk Radio refresh jobby. My name is Jim. Good evening, Eddie. What do you think of that intro, my friend?
Wonderbar, wunderbar, absolutely par excellence, A+, A+. Colin Cook, the master of disaster, the master of the meme, the videographer to the stars, and I don't mean the Dallas Stars. Wonderbar, Colin, hats off.
Fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
And it worked. It played. There were no hiccups. It played. It wasn't like the old days where we try something new and everything would just go fakakta. Everything would go to shit. It worked. Everybody saw it. Most people heard it. I guess you just got to do a refresh job. Cutsy in the intro. Costa in the intro doing his dance, doing his gyrations. I asked Colin Cook when I found out we could do an intro video. I asked Colin Cook, I said, do you think you could put something together for us? I said, I have an idea of what I'm looking for. I said, I'll give you some broad strokes and then, then just go with it. As I sent him those 2 videos, I have a Costa. I said, these have to be in there. I said, we want our music, obviously. I said, then just do and then whatever. The rest of it was all Colin. That was all his creation.
Yeah, well, it was great, man. And he got the little hangers there with the critical hangers. Critical thinking hangers. He got all the nuances there. Had the crazed Ranger fans and our own. And how come we're not in the video at all, though? I guess you get us now.
You're right. And that's fine. There's a very brief picture of me at the end doing the selfie at one of our viewing parties, and I'm not sure if you're in there or not. But there's a couple of other pictures, but they don't need to see. They don't need to see me in the video. I don't care.
No. I'm only kidding. I said it was a great job, man. Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Colin,
Phenomenal. Beautiful.
Phenomenal.
Sam with the pizza. Got Henrik Lundqvist with his shampoo. It's all there. It's all there. There's a million BSU Easter eggs in that intro video. They're all. I mean, if you're a fan of Lost, this is like an episode of Lost with all those Easter eggs.
Yes, I got it. I'm verklempt.
So yeah,
beautiful
job. And we're back. We're back.
Hey, this is starting to look like a major league production here. What's going on here?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. You know, I'll just I know I put this in the group, but you know, as of what is today? Today is the 4th. As of tomorrow, when the billing runs out, we will no longer own a Blog Talk Radio subscription.
Thank the Lord.
Done and done. You know, there was a twinge of sadness as I clicked cancel subscription on the screen.
There shouldn't be.
Just for a second there, it was like, yeah, but you know, it's kind of like, you know, it was a dump, but it was our dump. You know what I mean?
Nah, it was like
it's time to move on
for about 3 years, and then it was like, all right,
we'd had
enough.
enough.
The albatross around our necks.
Right, like I said last week or the week before, you know, we were on Blog Talk Radio for 10 years, and there were no improvements. It sounded just as bad in year 10 as it did in year 1. And here we only been here a year. We've got a brand new studio. We've got video intros. We've got our sound effects. We've got it all. We've got YouTube.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. We're on YouTube now, right? But I'm only seeing that.
We're only on Facebook Live tonight. We're just waiting for Be Live to finish complete what we want. We want to be able to schedule the shows on YouTube like we do on Facebook. So I don't, you know, I didn't like just kind of going live and then having to go nuts, tweeting links out everywhere. I like being able to kind of give everybody a little heads up and promote the show a little bit. So once they finalize that, once they get the final tweaks going, then yeah, I would say that we'd be better off just doing the shows on YouTube Live. You know, I just think it's better for everybody, and we can attract more of an audience.
Yes, I mean these are the beloveds here with us.
Right. I mean, you know, we like being here. We like being on Facebook, and it's fun. But not everybody wants to be on Facebook, which I can certainly understand. But everybody can get on YouTube because everybody's got a Google account. Not everybody has a Facebook account.
It's true. And speaking of which, I was talking to my friend's dad, who's like, you know, Ed, you're still doing that radio thing? And I go, well, now we're on YouTube. And he's like, oh, I know how to get on that.
There you go.
He's 80 years old, and he's like, I want to check it out.
Oh,
so Frank
perfect.
Galante, if you're out there watching us, hello to you. And I want to say hello to Johnny Backey, a guy who says he loves our show. He's a basketball aficionado. I tell you, world-renowned. Young kid. But if he's getting into hockey and he's watching this show, he's certainly pointed in the right direction because this is quality over quantity.
Absolutely. Now, you said Frank Galante. Is he related to Chris?
Yes. I saw him at the Super Bowl, a big Super Bowl party we have every year. The 29th consecutive year I've watched the Super Bowl with Chris Galante.
Oh, very nice. Which is funny because Chris is a big Islanders fan.
Yes, and so is his dad. But, you know, he's a fan of Ed Geik as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
He wanted to check out he wants to see what I got to say. I said, you know, we only talk Rangers.
Right.
Frank's like, that's okay.
We only talk Islanders in mocking tones.
Right. No, but it's funny because his son-in-law is a diehard Ranger fan.
See?
And he starts to tremble when I mentioned we have a show. But like you said, he doesn't have a Facebook account.
Right.
You know, because a lot of guys in my age group, they don't like Facebook. They don't want to be on it. They don't know they've had bad experiences with it, or they something.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, so whatever. Also, I hang around a lot of people who are not really social butterflies, so to speak.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of shut-ins,
a lot of infirmed.
Yeah, a lot of the infirmed.
A lot of the infirmed.
Listen, kind of.
I have a great quick story for you. On Saturday, we went to Costco to do our pre-Super Bowl food shopping. get the all the big stuff that we needed for Super Bowl Sunday. Now the Costco is about 5 miles west of Allentown, so we're talking 25 miles across the border into Pennsylvania. We're coming out of Costco. We get in the car and we're pulling out, and Jen on the front of her car has a Rangers license plate, and this woman, I would say she was maybe 30-ish, maybe 35. Points at the license plate and she's giving us the thumbs up. She's got a little girl with her, maybe 5-6 years old. And I had the window open, and this little girl starts yelling, "Let's go Rangers!" And she's doing the clap as we're driving out of the parking lot at Costco in Lower Macungie, Pennsylvania.
That kid is being raised properly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get down to it. As you would say, the Rangers have lost 3 of the last 5. Fair to say the Rangers are struggling because I don't count these wins over Detroit as anything special. The feel good after the weekend sweep of the Detroit Red Wings, I think, pretty much went out the window last night.
Yes, the first win, the game that you went to, was, and I'm sure you're going to get into that whole experience. But
yes,
that game was a pretty decisive win against a team that really is poor in every area of the game.
They're bad.
They're bad.
They're bad. And
Jimmy Howard, who they solved in that game after Howard played pretty well in the pretty good first period or so. They solved him. I'll take that. That gave it the break. But that follow-up 1-0 victory was, yes, you got 2 points, but it was unsatisfactory. Other than if you're a Henrik Lundqvist fan or a proponent of Henrik Lundqvist, then there was a little more juice for you. But I did not like the way they played. Really, you're talking about a team in Detroit. There's absolutely no hitting on that team. There's very little. It's a lot of poke checking and sticks, and just not a lot of what I would call real hockey going on. And I was not pleased with the 1-0 win, and I hope to God that against Dallas they could get it together and somehow adjust to a little bit better of a team, and a team that's going to play a little bit harder and has a little more, has some players on it.
Right. Yeah, Dallas is a good team. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think they've given up the least goals against. And they certainly took it to the Rangers last night, chasing out Henrik Lundqvist after 2 periods, and then you had Joe trying to manufacture an injury. Joe was spinning the excuse wheel. Oh, he may have gotten hurt, Sam. I'm not sure. Maybe on that shot, the one that went by him, maybe tweaked his neck or something. Looking back at it, and then it turned out he just stunk. He got pulled because he gave up 4 goals on 15 shots.
Yeah, you can't. That's just now again. I mean, am I pinning the whole thing on him? No, but it comes down to what you said. You can't give up 4 goals on 15 shots. You just can't.
No.
You got to stop Stephen Johns. You got to stay. Well, I think Blake Como got the 5th goal. That idiot. Every idiot on Dallas scores are idiots. I mean, we got Howden. I wouldn't call him an idiot. But where was the Nicholas Di Giuseppe goal when we needed it?
Philip.
Whatever.
Philip. Blake Como scores last night, and I didn't realize it was him at first. Then I see him with his arms up in the air, and I said, Blake fucking Como, are you kidding me? And Jen's like, what? I said, this guy owns Henrik Lundqvist. I said, if they show the stat, I said, I think he is in the top 3 all time behind only Crosby and Ovechkin in goals against Henrik Lundqvist. And I was wrong. He was 4th. Malkin's ahead of him too. But I looked it up today. Blake Como has 135 career goals in 800 and something games. He scored 14 goals against Henrik Lundqvist in his career. 10% of his career. He has scored 10% of his career goals have been scored off one of the best goaltenders in the history of the league. Fair to say, right?
I mean, that is a cockamamie stat.
Yeah, and I mean we're not just and we're not just talking about like some obscure guy having a hat trick against Henrik Lundqvist in one game. This is a guy who has sustained throughout his career, been able to beat Hank regularly. I mean, Crosby and Ovechkin, I believe, were tied with 24 goals apiece against Hank. But I mean, how many games have they played? How many goals do they have in their career? I mean, Ovechkin just passed. How many did he just score? Was he in the 690s now?
Yeah.
So he scored a lot of goals against Henrik, but he's played a lot of games against Henrik, and he scored a lot of goals against everybody. But Blake Como, 10% of his goals are against Henrik Lundqvist. How is that possible?
He's like Brian Boyle. He's got his number.
Right. Like Brian Boyle.
Yeah.
And
Blake also,
Como. Hank is a comophobe.
Also, I wanted the turning point of that game, where we're talking about this game, was also the back-to-back power play goals that they gave up on a dumb penalty by Brendan Smith. Joe Pavelski gets 2 goals in a row, and once again, so fragile, so marshmallow when it comes to adversity. The young team, the young New York Rangers, just can't adjust. They just can't. I mean, they had a couple really good comebacks this year, but for the most part, when adversity hits and the Rangers go into the third period down, it doesn't bode well for them. Right. And I'm starting to get a little cheesed at the coach too, because I mean, if I could see this sitting atop the Club Med Studios here in Ronkonkoma, New York, that game was really an important game for the Rangers to adjust to and up their game, so to speak. It just didn't happen. I mean, defensively, you got to say, Henrik's faced, 19 shots, 20 shots, 2 periods? They should be able to hang. But, the special teams, the game, that section of the game, I think, was very important. Especially that Dallas had been struggling on the power play, and all of a sudden they got 2 goals so quick. And
just to interject on that, I don't know why. I don't know why Quinn was even called to review that goal that they thought hit off the netting, although there was absolutely no proof of it. Who's he talking to? Who isn't? I mean. Who's giving him the information that, hey, we should review this? It hit off the
Dancing Larry.
I mean, who's giving
the Dancing Larry? Yeah.
Right. I mean, Dancing Larry did have a better view of it than Quinn did, but I mean, I just thought that was a bonehead move, and there was no evidence that it was even.
It was a reach. It was such a reach.
Yeah, that's just not a good time to take a reach. And then they're wrong. They give up the power. They take another penalty, and Pavelski scores right away. Oh, Pavelski scored. He's been struggling this year. The goal scoring hasn't been there like it has in the past until he came out under the spoke ceiling. That spoke ceiling, I'm telling you, it has healing powers for the opposing team. It's like a fertility statue.
It is. You got that right. Steve Johns with his first goal of the season.
Yes.
Jelly of the Month Club. All the factors were there. It was 3-2 at one juncture, wasn't it? I mean, it it was in hand, even 4-2. I was like, okay, it could happen, but they missed Kreider, and as much as we bashed him, and I'll be the first one to admit, I wanted him out of here. He's been so awesome. I can't even think of another word. It's so awesome in these last dozen games that
he's on one of his roles.
Right, he's on one of his roles, and they missed him. And you could just, again, Panarin doesn't get a goal. He didn't score. No, Panarin didn't get a goal last night.
He had an assist on the Buchnevich goal, I think. Yes, on the Buchnevich goal.
So if Panarin doesn't score, the Rangers don't win. It's just the way it is. And I think, and I know you met a lot of guys Friday night. I'm interested to hear how it went on Friday night. I know you have some bullet points for tonight's show.
We'll get to that after we,
I feel
catch up,
guys. And I don't know. I don't see like a porous defense out there on these goals. I just think the pucks go in that shouldn't go in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Was it the goaltending? Probably. I mean, it's just got to be more saves. That's it.
Right.
I mean, did I see breakaway after breakaway by Dallas? No. I see the kind of same crappy goals going. And I see the same lackluster, except for a few players, effort out there that there's just when the teams are better, they struggle. And it could be youth, it could be whatever. But this is why you can't get so crazy about the playoffs, because they can't win. They just are able to win.
Why do you want to go to why would anybody want to see this team get to the playoffs when they can't win more than 2 games in a row?
They don't really deserve it. I mean, I can't knock any single player why they lose. I mean, you can look at the goaltender, perhaps,
right.
But
right.
People say, "Oh, our defense stinks." Well, I don't understand. Well, what stunk? The 1-0 team? All right, I guess it was against Detroit. Or this defense stinks. Because the way I look at the defense individually, and this is my opinion, apparently it is my opinion since it's coming out of my mouth, but
right.
I don't think Mark Stahl is that bad. He's just defensive defenseman who can't ever score and is overpaid. I think Brady Shea is an abomination. But the rest of the defensemen are A-okay as far as I'm concerned. So how bad is this defense? I think Lindgren's good. I think Adam Fox is good. I love Tony DeAngelo. I like Jacob Trouba. So where is this? The defense stinks.
Well, you've said this several times, and you said it for years. Any goal by the opposition, there's going to be a breakdown by somebody. But like I've said, the goaltender that started last night is no longer good enough to cover up those breakdowns. And I think that's what he did for a lot of years. There's always going to be breakdowns. There's always going to be. It's just going to happen.
And I also think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And just to your point on Stahl, Stahl is what he is. I mean, I don't think he's as big a liability. I feel better when he's out there than I do with some of these like DeAngelo or Fox even, because I feel like he kind of stabilizes those guys.
Yeah.
Brady Shea doesn't stabilize anything.
No. Nothing.
So
my blood pressure isn't stabilized when that guy's out on the ice. But there's always going to be a whipping boy. We know that there's going to be a target. Somebody would, Can I throw it all on Hank? I think there's a general malaise on the Ranger forwards in games like this. In the old days, when the Rangers were successful, the Rangers had very good two-way forwards. They had, Derek Stepan. They had Brian Boyle. Well, I'm not sure he had one way his offense, but he certainly was defensively responsible. You had a lot of guys that could play both ends of the ice. Plus, we had a really good defenseman. I mean, with McDonough and Girardi and Stroman. So, but the trade-off now is that we have a young defense. We're moving in the direction of being more defensively responsible. But forwards, really, we could do much better.
Right.
And we have a lot of skill guys, too.
Right.
You've got, Hedel and Kako, and I thought Kako had a pretty good game. That's 2 games in a row. I thought he played decently. I think he's playing better. Right? The goals are going to come. You can see the talent is there. He's so strong on the puck. I mean, he carries the puck well. He'll get there. He's just got to he's got to keep in the right frame of mind, and he's just got to relax. And I think the goals are going to come. I think the moxie that I saw him come into the season with, it was back. He was not, he's trying to make some moves. He's
right.
You could see that he's going to be a really good NHL player. You could see it. And it's some people talk about the amount of consecutive time he's played internationally, and it's like he hasn't had a break, and he hasn't taken a break in 2 years.
No, he's 18. He just had 10 days off.
I know. Everybody, people look for excuses, and well, I just don't think there are any excuses, guys. First year in the NHL, it's tough.
Yeah, for sure. And with just back to the coach, as far as I thought he made a bad decision to review that goal last night, and I don't care how good Henrik Lundqvist was Saturday night. Henrik Lundqvist should not have played last night. I'm not saying that because they lost. I'm not saying that because he got shellacked. What is to be gained by playing him on back-to-back nights at this point? We've got 3 goaltenders. We've got 2 young guys that got to get experience. We got to figure out what we're going to do. We have to get to we have to come up with a solution. We can't go into next season with 3 goaltenders. We got to figure this out. We know what Henrik Lundqvist is. I don't need to see Henrik Lundqvist on back-to-back nights anymore. And I'll tell you something else. More and more, game by game, this fan base is turning on him. It's not just a small little grassroots thing about. There's more and more people. I'm seeing it every day. More and more people are starting to turn on him and say it's over. Wave the no move. It's over. It's done. You just see it. What's the point of playing him on back-to-back nights? We've got Georgiev. We've got Shesterkin. King.
Well, let me.
King.
There was a little bit of a contract that was made between Quinn and the goaltender. Apparently, during the 10 days off, Hank was texting Quinn saying, "Listen, I want to start that first game back. I'm really jazzed. I want to." And Quinn said no. He goes, "I want to go with the goalie, with the Shesterkin. I want to go with the goalie that's been playing, because Shesterkin went down to the minors, played a couple games with the Wolf Pack, or the Whale, as they used to be called."
Right.
So as I was saying, so he said, "I'm going to go." He said, "Henrik, I'm going to go with you. And listen, if you win, you're going to play. If you play well, you're going to play." And I think he stuck with that. And then the Rangers got stuck.
Right.
So that was his thinking. He honored his contract. And as far as I'm concerned, it should be Georgiev and Shesterkin the rest of the way. Jim, I can't hear you for some reason, Jim. Did you mute? Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
I hit the mic button. Tear up that contract.
Tear up that contract.
Tear up that contract. There was no reason to be playing him 2 games in a row at this point. None. If he doesn't like it, tough.
He's spry. He's 38. He's a spry 38.
Tough shit. Try saving more than 12 shots on 15 out of 15. or 11, I should say. Tough.
No.
It happens to everybody. We all get old.
Yes.
We all can't do what we used to, except you and I.
Well, we're not athletes. This guy's obviously just he's a dollar late and whatever the stupid saying is, a day short. A dollar late, I don't know.
He's not a dollar short anything.
That's true. But it's not there, the physical capabilities. And he's just a step behind now. Just can't bail him out anymore. He used to save games. Again, I think about last year. I think about maybe 2 games. This year, maybe 2 games. So that's not what a goalie's supposed to do. He's got to be your best player on the ice, especially if you're a young team. He's got to be. You need a wall behind there. You can't have a sieve.
Right.
You know? I don't know how they go in, but they go in. So there's no excuses. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and analyze every goal like Valacato. Henrik moves to his side, the left side, 40% of the time. So, no, it's just the puck went in. It's a goal. And I don't care how he gave it up. There's no excuses, Joe. And to say, listen, I both of us, and I know, especially myself, I killed Chico Resch for making excuses for Martin Brodeur when Brodeur was breaking down. Well, Marty lost that in the lights. Oh, Marty, his sister-in-law was winking at him. Whatever it was. And Micheletti is an excuse wheel for Hank.
Right. Sure, Marty told Larry Brooks the other day?
What did he say?
Told Larry Brooks, he said, when I was getting towards the end of my career and I wasn't playing every day and I knew the team was getting ready to move on without me, he says, I would have taken a trade. I would have moved on. I would have gone someplace else, but they never asked me. So he said, Lou never asked him. What's up, Johnny Prestano?
Yeah. I got to put my glasses on to see all the peeps in here, man. It's so
my glasses. Oh, it's a who's who.
Yeah, this is
there's 30 live watchers, I believe, which is nice. That 5-hole was big. Where is it? Where did I put that one?
Hey, Chris Johnert's here.
Oh, here it
one
is.
Of my all-time.
That 5-hole was big.
Yes, Chris Johnert and I had a conversation last night. Chris has asked that until we move to YouTube, because he's not on Facebook much anymore, he's asked that I tweet him and let him and give him the reminder that the show is coming on. So I did that today, and Chris is here, true to his word. So I will try and remember to give Chris a personalized reminder. Whatever I got to do to get people in here, I'm going to do it. That 5-hole was big. Big, Joe.
And I think Paul Sliker, said it early. He says the honeymoon is over as far as he's concerned with David Quinn. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not giving up on Quinn yet. I'm not.
Well, you want Rick Bonus to come in here and turn things around?
What do you want? Who do you want? John Hines? You want Peter Laviolette?
Can I before you get into your thing, I'm
telling you, Knobloch in Hartford is the coach in waiting.
Who? What coach?
Knobloch, the guy in Hartford.
Oh, Chuck Knobloch?
Chuck Knobloch, yeah. Right. Matlock.
Well, before you, I know you have some things to share. Let me just share some of my rage and let me get out of it. I was listening to the WFAN this afternoon, and first of all, that lineup is so terrible. I mean, I don't know. You might as well have Cutsy and Paulie D on that fucking shows, on those shows over there, get more ratings than Maggie and Moose. Anyway, so I'm listening to these crappy shows, and some dumbass calls in, and a real dummy calls in, and he's like, Dolan, he's killing the Knicks. And, and then Maggie or whatever her name is, she goes, well, the Rangers have done pretty well. He's like, nobody cares about hockey, Maggie. The Knicks are the crown jewel in New York. And I'm like, crown jewel in New York? First of all, basketball sucks. Basketball is the worst sport in the world. I mean, if you could score 2 points 50 times a game, how important is a score? I mean, it should be something monumental to score in a game.
Right.
It's dumb. And they're talking about, nobody cares about hockey. You know what? First of all, the Knicks never win. Never. They haven't been in a playoff game in, I don't know, since Carmelo. I mean, they stink. They win like 12 games a year. How do they take priority over the Rangers? It makes no sense to me. And these idiots say, nobody cares about it. You ever see when the Rangers are winning when they're at the Madison Square Garden in New York City? Absolute buzzing for hockey. People love hockey. I'm sorry that the dummy who follows basketball and worships all these nincompoops can't see that hockey is the greatest sport ever.
Did you see that video of the fans at MSG last week during the Knicks game chanting "Sell the team"? And then they started playing music at the Garden to try and drown out the fans because, of course, he's sitting courtside. And he does not like to hear that. He'll throw out fans that yell at him to sell the team. He's picking on some teenage kid. What a thin-skinned little punk he is. And I don't care. He can't do nothing to me because I already went to the game. I already went to the one game I'll go to every 5 years. Throw me out. I don't care. I got my shirt.
But all these things, who cares about the Knicks? And you know what? People want to play for the Rangers. Panarin came here because the Rangers are looked at as a good organization. In basketball, in that ridiculous score-a-thon sport, nobody wants to play for the Knicks. I mean, they'd rather play overseas. They can't get one big star to play for the Knicks. So this is my thing is, basketball sucks. All right? I have the platform to say it. I know some of you guys like watching basketball. Go ahead. Watch all you want. But hockey is the best sport. It's the coolest sport on earth. I saw that in a commercial once.
There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was just, I had to vent for my mental health.
Acuity?
Yeah, my acuity.
Mental acuity?
Yeah. Ugh. Everybody's so worried about who the Knicks fired their coach. Oh,
fired the GM or something today, didn't they? Or the president?
I don't know. They're never going to win. That team's hopeless. All right, so I'm sorry.
Steven Stills, or whatever his name is.
I got off the track. You don't foresee Lundqvist ever moving that no movement clause. Is the ego that big?
I don't think so. Is there even a market for him? I mean, really?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, do you think that other teams are watching the Rangers and watching him and thinking, this guy still got it? I don't know.
Well, they may excuse a lot of it by the Rangers are in a rebuild.
Just blame Stahl because they hear Hank do it? I'm just kidding.
I just think that we've seen the decline for the last 4 years or so.
Right.
And we spotted it. And now, of course, when the Rangers are not going to make the playoffs the second year in a row, all of a sudden the pedestrian Ranger fans, and they see Hank giving up 5 goals on, now the eye has turned towards Hank, but it should have been turned there a long time ago. They were blinded by their, some of the great things that he did in the past. I mean,
right.
It's just not there now. He's a detriment when he's in net. Okay, so that's so. Now you went to the game Friday. And
We
I
did.
will set it up for you.
We did.
I saw a lot of photos
Yeah. Yep,
of
we
you doing everything.
Yeah, I bought Rock, the great John Papadimitrios. I bought his tickets for the game and surprised Jen for her birthday. I gave her the tickets for her birthday. We decided to make a day of it. So I left work early on Friday. We got into the city at about 3:00. Found a place to park about 6 blocks from the Garden for $17 on a Friday night, which wasn't bad compared to every place else. There was parking for like $60, $75. It was just ridiculous. So we just decided to walk, and we got down to the Garden. We decided to go and see if we could get any pictures with anybody coming in. And now I'll start this by saying that there is a group of people there that now there were a couple of people just like us that were going to the game and just decided that they would also try and hang out for a little while outside the Garden and see if they could meet a couple of players. And then there were a couple of these stalkers, I'll call them. And I think that anybody who's got a big enough Facebook presence as far as the Rangers go will know some of the names. I'm not going to mention names, but these people that you see constantly posting pictures, I met this one, and I met this one. They're always there. They're always camped out before the games, after the games. They were at every event. And like Sean McCaff said, how many pictures do you need with Michael Haley? So you've got these stalkers that are out there. So we got there about 3:30. We're hanging out for a little while. Hadn't seen any players. Then about 4:00, a couple of them started showing up. We got to take pictures. Philip Hedel, Adam Fox was the first one we met. He came through. Then I think Hedel, Ryan Strome, Ryan Lindgren, and David Quinn. We got to say hello to. Very, very nice guy. And I think who am I forgetting? No, I don't remember. Am I forgetting somebody? Let's see. Look at my pictures here. Lindgren, Strome, Hedel, Quinn. Oh, Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo.
D.
He was one of the first. I think he was second after Adam Fox. Tony D came walking through the little tunnel there, and we took pictures with him. But the minute these guys, are spotted, the vultures they swarm, and it's the same people. And I know these guys got to get tired of that. They got to get tired of seeing the same people and just being stalked by these people. And I know what the mindset is. I think some of these people really think that if they hang around the Garden long enough, they're going to become friends with Adam Fox. They're going to get invited over to Tony D'Angelo's house for the Super Bowl. They're gonna dog sit for Philip Hedel when he goes out of town to LA on a trip. And this one girl, I don't know who she is. I didn't recognize her. A couple of the other ones I recognized, but this one girl who I did not recognize. Security guard comes out and she's like, "Hey, are you going to get me a stick like last time?" I'm like, "You're fucking standing out here just begging people for gear? Get the fuck out of here." Like, seriously. These people are just schnorrers. Just
despicable.
I mean, it's horrible. Everybody we spoke to, they go up, ask very nicely, "Can we take a picture?" We take a picture, say hello, shake their hand, wish them luck. Maybe I said to Ryan Strome, I said, "Every goal you score sticks it to the Islanders." He goes, "I like the way you think." He was really cool. I told Tony D'Angelo, I love the way he trolls people on Twitter. I said, "The way you troll the stat nerds is great." I said, "I love it." He was a really nice. They were all very nice. David Quinn, really nice. But just these people just circling like vultures, and they carry these binders with them with tons of pictures in them. Like, just get your. I can't. That's why I don't ask for. I never ask for autographs. I can't remember the last time I asked somebody for an autograph. because I just feel like they know that I'm going to try and sell it on eBay the minute I get away from the garden.
Well, let me ask you this.
I'd rather have a picture because that only means something to me. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Now these stalkers, this filth,
the snorers,
the snorers. Now, are they coming back time after time and like maybe selling the autographs or having sticks signed and then
I don't know what they do, but like I said,
or do they think they really think they're going to be part of their lives?
I really think that's what it is. I can't. Why else would you go? And I know that some of the people I saw are at every home game because I see them on Facebook constantly posting pictures with the same guys over and over and over again. So I know they're out there every day. And Jen, of course, was waiting for Brendan Lemieux. One of the girls goes, "Oh, he never comes in this entrance." And I just wanted to say to her, how the fuck do you know his habits? Like, why are you here so much that you know how this man walks into the garden? That's ridiculous. Get a life, in the words of the immortal William Shatner. Get a life, will you? I love the Rangers. I was raised on Broadway. But come on.
Yes.
I mean, come on. You are not going to dog sit for Adam Fox when he goes out of town. You're not gonna make friends with his mother. You're not gonna get her cookie recipe. You're not gonna be Facebook friends. You're not gonna go hang out at their house. You're not gonna be invited over for Super Bowl. You're not gonna sit shiva with them. You're not gonna go for Passover. None of that. You are a fan, and you're a creepy fan at that. He's a hockey player. You're a fan. That's it. These guys aren't looking for friends. They got friends. They got millions of dollars. When are they going to hang around with some punk hanging out in front of the garden?
Some schlub
who obviously has no job because she's always at the fucking garden. How do these people afford tickets? What do? They sell the stick. Go ahead, give me a stick. Give me a jersey. Give me a jock. Get me Brendan Lemieux's can of Desinex. I'll sell it on eBay.
Now, is it was she upset that Brendan Lemieux didn't come in this entrance? Like, how dare he?
Oh, Jen?
No, Brendan Lemieux.
Well,
the lady, the girl who said,
she was just. It was just one of those things. I know something you don't know.
Oh,
it was put to us like that.
Boy.
They got this security guard out there, right? Now, I don't know if you picture where they come in, right? They're walking into this.
I know exactly where they
where they come in, right across from what used to be Cafe 31.
Right.
So they walk in that tunnel. It's kind of like a garage. Well, if you can't stand in the driveway, so there's this one security guard, and his whole job is to tell you, get back on the curb, 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 get back on the curb. Hey, you, get off the curb, get on the curb, get on the curb. So Jen said something about us. And one of these schnorrers, these fucking low-life, no-job-having stalkers goes, that's his job. People keep doing this. They're going to make us all go away. They're going to block this all off. Oh, and then what will you fucking do? What are you going to do when they take away your best friend, Adam Fox? These people are just... And I'm going to jump ahead just to go to after the game, because we went around the side in the hopes again that we could just see Brendan Lemieux, and we did see him, but they stayed under the garden on the other side of the building, but they all stayed underneath because they got right on the bus, got on the bus to go to the airport to go to Detroit. So we were waiting out there, but also they have the MSG Network trucks out there, and I was trying to see if I could maybe meet up with my buddy from high school who got a mention again on the broadcast last night, but he had already left. And these girls are screaming at every player that comes out. This one girl's going nuts for Filipula because the Red Wings bus was right in front of us. I mean, it was just really embarrassing. And then finally, once the players left, they were all gone, and that was when I found out that my friend had already left. So it's embarrassing. I honestly, I can understand why some of these players want nothing to do with fans. Yeah, this one girl screaming, Mika, Mika, Mika. I mean, he was obviously in a conversation with. He comes out. He was talking to. I think he was talking to Filipula. I hope I get his name right. They were having a private conversation, and this girl's just screaming, Mika, Mika. Like, shut up. I can understand why, some of these players want nothing to do with the fans. Nothing to do with the fans. And he ignored her, which was the best. Sean McCabe, Joe Fortunato threw his granny panties at Buchnevich.
Booch got a goal last night.
And then got benched. Rode the pine for most of the third period. Yeah. Coach said after the game he was very unhappy with Buchnevich last night.
Should have been unhappy with other players too.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know. I just reporting the news.
I'm just right. I don't write the news. I just report it. So we wait. So now Costa's going to love this part of the story. So I'm glad he's here. And in this story, I'm going to mention names because I just don't give a fuck. So, okay. So the players, I figure at this point it's like 4:30, whatever. I figure, well, it's a 7:00 game. Anybody who's showing up has already shown up. So we decide we're going to go over the Molly Wee. We'll get something to eat. We'll have a couple of beers, and then we'll go to the game. And that way, I did want to say hello to Larry, Dancing Larry, because I hadn't seen him in a while, and he's always been very nice. So we go over and we walk in, and Larry's sitting at the bar. We said hello, and I introduced him to Jen because Jen had never met him. Talked for a few minutes. I said, let's get a picture before I go, and he said, oh, absolutely. And we went and sat at a table. We're sitting there for a few minutes. We ordered a couple of beers, and we ordered food. We're sitting there for a few minutes, and there's a table right next to us, and then there's another table. Well, there's no one sitting at the table right next to us, but at the table next to that one, this couple sits down. Older guy with a scarf around his neck. And he sits down, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Who is that guy? And then I realize it's Claude Simos. And then I look over, and Eva's sitting there with him. And the two of them are looking straight down at their table because they know that they won't even look at me. Oh. Claude and Eva Simos. Now, for those of you that haven't been around long enough to know, Claude and Eva Simos used to call it a show all the time. They used to show up at every viewing party. You go back and look at old viewing party pictures. They were in every one of them. Used to be active in our Facebook group, and then they just created their own little circle of people, and then they all left. All of them. So Claude and Eva are sitting there the whole time, off to the side, not paying any like they don't know I'm here, and I know they know who I am, and I know they can hear me, and I know they know my voice. Christ's sake, they listen to the show every week, and they used to call in, the two of them. He'd be on one line, she'd be on the other, and they're both on the phone at the same time. Wouldn't even look at me. Yeah, two members of the Purge. You got it, Costa. Yeah, Larry'd had a few. I'll say that much. Larry was feeling no pain.
Oh, really?
And then right before we were done with dinner, Larry comes over, he puts his arm around me, he goes, hey bud, let's take that picture now before it gets crazy. I said, okay. So we did our pictures with Larry, and I said, we'll see you later. And that was it. And then we walked over to the garden. We got to the garden at about 5:45. They opened the doors at 6 because we wanted to watch warm-ups. So we go into the garden and we go. They tell us to go to section 105 if you want to watch warm-ups. So we go to section 105. You can't stand up and watch warm-ups. You have to be sitting down in a seat. You can't get anywhere near the glass. All these poor kids brought these signs for the players. You can't get anywhere near the glass. Stay away. And then, again, you got a security guard. Up, don't sit down. You got to sit down. You got to sit down. You got to sit down. That's all he kept saying. Oh, I forgot a story from the Molly Week.
It's a goddamn circus at this place before the game starts. Go ahead.
Before we leave the Molly Wee, this guy comes up and he sits to my right and he says, I don't mean to. He says, I'm sorry to interrupt your meal. I said, but do you mind if I ask you a question? And I said, sure. And he says, I notice you have a Hedberg jersey on. And I said, yeah. And he says, well, I'm Swedish. He says, I'm from the same town as Anders Hedberg. I said, okay. And we just started talking. Very nice guy. I told him his name was Amon. Amon was his name. And so we talked for a few minutes. And then he introduced me to his dad, who claimed to have played junior hockey with Anders Hedberg. I don't know if that's true or not. There's really no way for me to prove it now, but whatever. That's what he said. Right. Ask Alfie, right? I told him about the show. I told him Alfie's been on the show. I said I've been trying to get Anders Hedberg for years, just never found a decent way to contact him. And so we talked for a few minutes. They were very nice. And then we headed over to the garden and watched warm-ups from the seats. And then we went upstairs. So we get up to our seats, and we're in section, I think it was 211. And you're on like the same side as the benches, and we're in row 18. So now you're sitting up there, and they got this balcony in front of you. I guess that's the Chase Bridge, right? The bridge that goes there. I guess that's the Chase Bridge. So you're sitting behind this thing. The seats are great. I mean, you can see everything. And so we get up there, we sit down. Now they're getting ready to come on the ice, and they start playing this video. And it's just kind of one of those highlight videos and Ranger fan video. You know, there's fans in it. There's old Ranger footage. But through the whole video, the song that they're playing for the video is Sinatra's singing Dream the Impossible Dream. And it's like a funeral. I mean, that's a slow song. I mean, I love Sinatra as much as anybody.
Impossible dream.
Just like this slow song. And I heard it last night during warm-ups when Sam and Joe were talking. I just started laughing. I'm just sitting there and I said, what the hell kind of warm-up song is this? This is like ridiculous. I'm like, who's supposed to get excited about this?
Dream the impossible. Give me some heroin. I want to overdose. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not an upbeat song at all.
So
they had like pictures of like Emil Francis pointing on the bench and stuff. Is that what they had? Like
all kinds of stuff, through the years type stuff.
Through the years.
Right. That would have been better. That would have been better. So then they play they play the song and then the game starts. Now there's a guy sitting about 6 rows behind us who was, I'm telling you, Eddie, if God forbid something happened to either one of us, this guy could step right in.
Wow.
This guy could have fit right in. From the minute the game started, this guy's just yelling. I paid a lot of money for these seats. I used to sit a lot lower. Then he's yelling, it's still legal to throw a hit. I had to every time they'd lose a faceoff because they were bad. They were like 20%. They only won like 20% of their faceoffs in that game. He's yelling every time they lose a faceoff. He just yell, "Win a faceoff!" He'd try and get a "Let's Go Rangers" chant going, and if it would die out, he'd go, "T-shirts, T-shirts, T-shirts." He's like, "Sure, you'll get up and scream for a fucking free T-shirt."
But you won't get a "Let's Go Rangers" chant. I like this. It's good to see some of this. This is good reporting.
And then there's no score, and the game's just not fun or anything, and they're not playing well. And he goes, "When will these boys become men?"
I like that one.
Then he says, I wrote all these down so I wouldn't forget them. Then he goes, "All right, Shea, you made a nice play. Now get the hell off the ice." He goes, wow. This was the best. It's nothing. It's like nothing. And the game's just bad. He goes, the NHL is expanding for more of this shit. And then he's getting on Kakko. He goes, throw a hit. This isn't Finland. And he goes, and finally at one point he just screams out, "It's like they're the Adirondack Red Wings."
Wow.
This guy was great. And they kept calling Lemieux Baby Claude. Everything was Baby Claude every time he was on the ice. Come on, Baby Claude, throw a hit. Come on, Baby Claude. Come on, Baby Claude. Yeah, it was great.
Alicia, I'm glad that you had somebody there to like bond with, because you like to, get belligerent and get a little bit loud.
Well, then they had it was fan choice night, was what they called it. So a couple of days before the game, they posted a thing on the website. You could vote on the shirts they were going to give away, and you could vote on the music they would come out to in between periods, and you could vote on something else. And So this was one of the shirts that you could vote on. So and this was the one that won. So this is the one they gave to. This is the one they gave away. Which of course I got one. Jen got one, and then I scammed another one. Nice. So I got 2 of them. Yeah. And
let me see that thing. Like, model that for me. I like that. That's really nice.
Right.
I like how it's
courtesy of WeBleedBlue.com.
Oh, wow. Do we have to thank them?
It's the only time you'll ever see me with anything with a Pepsi logo on it.
Is We Bleed Blue? Is that's their the official Rangers?
No, We Bleed Blue is it's a website that sells all kinds of Ranger related gear, but they actually now have some kind of agreement with the Rangers, which is why they can make shirts with the Ranger logo on it. Kind of like the 7-line army with the Mets, you know.
What are the odds that the Rangers reach out to us and want to partner with us? Oh, wow. Yes.
Apparently, Jen and I took a picture on our way to the game on Friday that we posted on Instagram that the Rangers posted on the Jumbotron during the game last night.
Oh.
John Johnert texted Chris to tell him we were on the Jumbotron. And, of course, Chris texted me. And I said, they must obviously not have known who I was. Or else they never would have put our pictures up there.
Wow.
So
they had a great time, man. I mean, you ran into this super fan crazy thing one time. Didn't you go to a Ranger practice?
Yeah, we went to the outdoor practice last year, and there was a lot of the give me your stick, give me your gloves, give me your hat, give me your,
your left testicle.
Right, give me your nut hair.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
give me your deodorant.
Celebrity has just gone so crazy. People it's stupid. It's just so stupid. All right. We got that in the books. What else do you have scripted? You said you scripted. Is that
That's all I had. I just wanted to run through my notes. I wanted to talk about the guy sitting behind us. I mean, it was like I said, it was straight out of the 80s. But I will complete my little bit here by saying, after having gone to Madison Square Garden and seeing the just the lack of overall atmosphere, they could bulldoze that place. It's time for that place to go.
What?
It's build them a new arena. It's time for a new arena.
Didn't they renovate that thing like 6 years ago?
Who cares? $1 billion renovation. I'm still waiting online to piss. There's no atmosphere anymore. I think they built that Chase Bridge just to block the noise from that section up there behind it where rock seats are and the other sections that are up there, because those fans up there are pretty rowdy and pretty loud, and I don't think they want any part of that.
So they definitely tasked the architects. Listen, we don't want the fans being heard, so let's build a bridge. Hey, it could have happened. Who knows? Crazy Fakai. I don't think the Rangers are ever going to leave that place. I think the days of
they're rebuilding Penn Station, and doesn't Penn Station have isn't there some kind of lease or something on the building that they want supposedly they've been making overtures that they may want the Rangers out in 10 years?
I don't know. Yeah, that was reported, but I don't know. I think I've been to several playoff games there since the renovation, and it does get loud, but it's never going to be like it used to be. It's just not, and it's a shame. They
should have moved to the Brendan Byrne way back when.
Oh, I don't want another team in New Jersey. I'm a Jet fan. I can't stand that.
We would have had no Devils. We wouldn't have had to suffer through their 3 cups. We would have had none of that. The Rangers would have been the team in the Meadowlands.
New York, not New Jersey. Come on.
Oh, the Jets play there. You got over that.
No, I didn't. I never got over it. I'm still trying to weasel my way out of it when people call me on it. Like calling it Jet Life Stadium. Anyway, so the Chris Kreider, he's got you see the knee he took from Zibanejad there. That was quite a knock on the head there on the knock.
Do other teams get as many self-inflicted wounds as the Rangers do?
I don't think so. I don't think half the bad crap that happens to the Rangers happens to other teams. It's just the Rangers. Then Quinn said, "Oh, it's nothing, this and that," and then they sat him out after they practiced him earlier yesterday. Because I'm worried about his trade value. I want him fully healthy and ready to go when we get a gargantuan haul for him.
Right.
But I don't know the logistics. I don't know. I don't get in the weeds with details. But I guess the Rangers do have an opportunity at this moment to sign him, right? Like to a long-term deal.
Right.
But how can that happen if the Rangers don't know what's going to happen with the cap next year as far as their own players go? And the fact that Kreider's going to want to test the market, he doesn't really want to have the Rangers dictate what he's going to get.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think he'd be crazy not to test the market. This is going to be his last. I mean, you got to figure this is his last big contract. This is it. This is the time he's going to cash in. Unless he's that devoted to staying a Ranger, which I don't know if he is or not, but knowing that you're committing to a team where you've got at least another 2 years before you're a true contender. Oh, and Jen wanted me to mention the guy that won the Kia with the shot from center ice in between periods at the Garden the other night. He won a brand new Kia. He shot the puck through a hole in the net about that big.
Wow.
And won a $40,000 Kia Telluride. And he was actually sitting in the section next to us. And when he came back to his seat, he got a big ovation.
Amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, am I being naive? I guess I am. I know in other sports it would never happen. Football, the aforementioned basketball, and what have you. Baseball, I would say there used to be a lot of loyalty to the team. I guess there isn't anymore. That's another. Am I being naive that thinking Chris Kreider would actually want to stay? And when we hear something that he's negotiating, I mean, I know other sources in New York, the sources in New York aren't all that great. Larry Brooks doesn't know jack. So
right. Everything comes out of Canada.
Oh, by the way, next on the Duguay and Larry Brooks post podcast is going to be Paulie D.
They had Kotze on the other day.
I know. They're going to pull a full circle.
Has anybody ever milked a 50-game career with a hockey team, with any sports team more than he has? He's playing at some alumni game next month that I saw advertised.
Yeah, that show is run
55 games or something like that.
That's all they get as guests as alumni. Nobody wants.
You would think he's Harry Howell.
He's just. I mean, he played in the NHL quite a long time. He was very good with the Maple Leafs. Listen, I know it's a little crazy. He's in the Ranger alumni. That's a little wacky.
54 games.
But Chris was a great player, and he's been a familiar face around the Garden all these years. I mean, he really has. And I don't know. But what I'm saying, getting back to their podcast, everybody, I mean, they're running low on guests. I mean, there's just so much Ranger alumni they can go through.
Right.
That's not Larry Brooks has many friends either. Like he can invite like former players. He's probably alienated everybody. So, but Duguay, God bless you, Dukes. You showed up at our viewing party. You made it a special night.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
God bless you, Dukes.
God bless you. So Kreider, I don't know. I told you they better freaking back the Brinks truck up for this one. This better be a big haul. I don't mean a big Eric Halla. It's going to be a big haul for Kreider. I want a number one. I want 2 number ones. And then I want a 2. And then I want a prospect. No, I don't know. That's exactly right. Bring it up. That's right. And now Costa, the fountain of misinformation, is reporting that Frederick Anderson is hurt. If Frederick Anderson may be injured, and that Alexander Georgiev would be a perfect fit for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Woody, this needs to be Jeff Gorton on deadline day. Higher. First round pick, second round pick. Higher.
Exactly, Jim. I want to see that guy yodeling to right before he falls off the cliff. The highest value you could get. I'm telling you, I am measuring Jeff Gordon on this trading deadline here. If he comes away with something mediocre, I'm going to blow a gasket.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Geik putting Jeff Gordon on notice.
Because, listen,
tonight on Blueshirt Underground, on the Blueshirt Underground show.
He's done a good job so far. They got the number one guy that everybody wants, and he's playing well. And, he's still reasonably young. He's the tip-in specialist of the whole league. He's a guy who gets in front of that. He's a big guy. He skates. He's got all the attraction that you would want if you want that extra push to get into the playoffs and go far deep in the playoffs. So teams are going to want to sacrifice. I don't want to see him sending him to Nashville for, I don't know, Kevin Fiala. I don't even know if Kevin Fiala is still in Nashville. But, I don't want to see some dumbass trade. And Georgiev, I think we're going to get less than what we think. That's just
I think so. Are you ready to go to the video? I don't want to say the phones. We don't do that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the video.
All right, let's talk to Ryan Leach first, because we haven't talked to him in a long time. And for the first time ever on the Blueshirt Underground show, someone is doing dishes while we talk to them.
Hey, listen, you got to multitask in this day and age.
What's up, Ryan?
Not much, guys. How you guys doing?
All right. What are you scrubbing the pots there? Look at him. Look at him go. He's on KP duty.
But and I got to do some dishes. I got to multitask a little, but that's the great part. You see, you didn't see me do dishes when I would call in on Blog Talk too.
Right.
Why not watch me do dishes while I talk Rangers with you guys?
All right.
By the way, some breaking non-Rangers related news.
Uh-oh.
He's got his Don Beaupre shirt on there.
What was that?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Out on buying the New York Mets. The Wilpons changed the terms of the deal at the last minute, and Cohen backed out.
Is that official?
That is. I saw it from one of the financial guys for the Post. Reported that.
Great.
Wonderful.
They get us again, Jim. They get us again.
Great.
I'm blessed that every team that I root for has great owners. Wow.
Well, our man Dolan is in some. He's got some pretty. At least he doesn't have these problems with the Rangers. But man, he's hearing it with the Knicks fans. I'll say that. Jeez.
Yeah, I went off on that earlier. I actually heard on the sports radio talk shows that he's actually considering bringing Isaiah Thomas back.
But here's the funny part with that, though. I guess apparently the other night he got heckled by a teenager at the Garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was going to ban the kid for life, and then he ended up calling his mother like the next day and smoothing things over. It's like
a true psychopath, sociopath. Wonderful. All right, Ryan Leach, give me your opinions. I'm gonna rapid fire you.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. Chris Kreider. You gonna make any attempt to sign this guy, or are you just gonna let him go?
I fear that if this injury is longer than anticipated, we might end up having to actually extend him because of it. Because
I don't think this is
able to trade him if he's hurt. And I was thinking about it today. It's like if he's going to be hurt long term and we can't trade him at the deadline, then we might have to extend him. Which wouldn't be the worst thing, but I don't know if that's something I want to do. I'd like to get some value back. If we don't extend him, or if we do extend him, I think you could possibly see Buchnevich maybe go on some kind of a deal. Granted, you're not going to get much for him, but
goodbye.
I would live for that just to see all the friggin' stat nerds with their heat maps and spray charts and everything like that go absolutely apeshit about it.
Your disdain from them fuels my life force.
What's that?
I said your disdain for the stat nerds it propels my life force. Thank you.
I'm right with Jim. Friggin' tinfoil hat brigade. They can they can jump off the Chase Bridge for all I care.
Capo Caco has played well in the last couple of games. Do you really think he should stay up, or just send this guy down, let him play a lot?
I think he needs to go to the AHL and figure out the North American game. You got to remember, this is the first time he's been in North America playing with adults, pretty much. I think he probably should go down to the AHL, find his game. I think he could be like Phil Peedle was this year. So, I mean, I know he's young. I know the fan base wants to see him, but I think that he'd be much better off going to Hartford for a little bit, finding his game, and then coming back and seeing what we have.
Brady Shea or a pylon?
Pylon. I mean, I would. Can we buy him out after this year, or would that kill him?
I'm sick of the buyouts, Ryan. I can't follow it anymore. I think the poor asset management of Kevin Shattenkirk. I love that statement by those dopes over at Blueshirt. What is that thing called? Banter over there?
Yep.
Right? Those dopes. Oh, poor asset management. Every Ranger defenseman's got more goals than Kevin Shattenkirk. It's poor asset management. I can't get it with $6 million going to Shattenkirk next year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to buy any more people out. Let me give you one more question. Let's see. What's my Henrik Lundqvist? Is it over, Johnny? Is it over?
It's over, and I think after seeing his interview that he did that a lot of people you saw with a lot of people, with him talking kind of like I'll always be a Ranger. I think he's starting to see it a little bit too. I really do. I think as I was saying before in the chat, I think that I think Eli Manning actually showed him a little bit something that maybe it might not be the worst thing in the world to maybe go out with a little bit of grace than to go out as a prima donna in a sense. I'm thinking JD is working on that with Hank, maybe seeing if he can just easily kind of ease him into a trade. I'll say this with regards to the goaltending situation in a whole. I think with Quinn, Quinn always, you got to remember, these college coaches, when they were in college, they always had three goaltenders. Even, no matter what, they always had three goaltenders. And a lot of time they had three goaltenders sitting, two of them on the bench and one of them on the thing. I think, if he could, he'd probably put both goaltenders on the bench, but he can't do that. I don't know if I would trade Georgiev. I like him. I think he's a good backup, but I think he's not an everyday guy, in my opinion. I think Shesterkin is your everyday guy for sure. I know we have a lot of goaltending depth, but I would feel a little bit better getting rid of Hank than I would getting rid of Georgiev. Granted, I know you're probably going to get more for Georgiev than you would Hank, but I loved what Jim did with the friggin' yodeler from The Price is Right with Georgiev and the Leafs, because I think that's what Gorton should do. But I'll say this, and I was thinking about this a lot today too. It's very nice to actually see that we have some good leadership in the front office now. I mean, we really haven't had that in a long time. I mean, Len Sather he didn't know how to manage a salary cap on his own, I don't think.
No.
And
horrible.
He completely botched the pre-salary cap era with
that was an atrocity.
Yeah, he completely botched that. And really, if you think about it with Sather, the only reason we had success in the salary cap era was because of guys like Don Maloney and Jeff Gorton and those guys because they guided Glenn through everything, and he didn't, he just signed off on it in a sense. He trusted a lot of lieutenants than he did himself, but then he would make these stupid trades for first rounders and mortgage the future for nothing. So I think it's good that we have a guy in JD and Jeff Gorton that kind of get it in a sense. They know how to build a program, and I knew this year. I was like you guys. I just wanted to see improvement this year. I'm seeing a little improvement. I would rather not make the playoffs, but you know, I would just. I think when it comes to Hank, to go back to your original point, I think that it might be time for him to think about waiving that no move and find another spot to end.
Well, I think from your mouth to the King's ears, and yeah, no, I think the Eli thing is a good thing, a good example. Maybe it'll come to fruition.
Well,
Let's see
it's
what happens.
I think a lot of the writers that were in that scrum when he was doing that actually mentioned a little bit of that too. Like maybe he's starting to see the way Eli left the Giants. You know,
But doesn't he realize he stinks?
Well,
4 goals don't magically go past you. Doesn't he realize every time he steps in that net, other than that shutout he got against that minor league team, that he's giving up goals? He's not what he used to be. The save percentage has been going down year after year. You can't go into you can't be a .905 save goalie.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Hank. Hang it up. Leave. Retire.
You know,
bake your cake.
I really wonder if he may try to stick out this year and possibly retire. I mean, you never know. But I mean,
oh, you're right there. That's what he should do.
I mean, maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's, I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we.
There's nothing going behind the scenes.
Well,
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
There is. Let me tell you something. That
Leah says, and now he broke his. Now what's going on when he broke his foot or something?
Yeah, but that was a backdoor. You know, that was a deal that nobody was talking about, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's in Sweden. JD gets involved. Now he's back with it. Now he's hurt again, but you know, still.
All right, Ryan. I got all agitated with Hank again. I apologize.
That's
all right. Anything else, Ryan?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad you had a good time. You and Jen had a good time at the game, Jim.
Thank you.
Those pictures look phenomenal. The stories you told brought back memories of like when we had an AHL team in Albany, because there were groupies like that too. And I think like, you know, years and years ago, I like, you know, got mixed in with one of them at one point and went, you know, and then I'm like, I saw how crazy these people were, and I'm like, holy crap, like, get me away from this. And, you know, I'll tell you this, Jim, you know, Hank gets a bad rap, I hear a lot, from, like, not, you know, really talking to the fans. Now we know why, basically, because look at the kind of crap he would have to deal with going into the Garden. No wonder.
He wants to fish nagels.
Yeah.
But listen, there's some other Ranger players I take to task. Brian Leach, it was one of the great Rangers of all time. In order to get these guys autographs, you got to go to a signing and pay $200 for them. Come on.
Right.
All right, Ryan Leach.
Yep. All right.
Take care, my friend.
Yep. It was
good to hear from you. Don't be a stranger.
All right.
Yes. Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.
Guy's washing his dishes.
He's doing his dishes. Right. All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show one of the stars of our new video intro, the one and only.
There he is.
There he is. What's going on, Costa?
Thank you.
Inmates are running the asylum right now.
Now, do you think we can get the Hayes deal like the Kreider deal?
Yes.
One and like a guy like Lemieux or a player like along those lines. Would that satisfy you, Mr. Geik? Really?
He wants more.
I want more. What do we get for Hayes? We got Brendan Lemieux and who?
What? I won.
Higher.
That one became
Higher.
Yeah.
I want.
You're being a greedy cunt.
It's time. It is time.
All right. We'll see what happens.
We've been raked over the coals so many times.
Dude, Eddie, We fleeced people too. Come on now.
You're right. You're right.
Man, Ryan Strong.
That's true. You're right.
Who else? What else we got?
The Rick Nash deal was a complete fleece.
We fleeced them. Ryan McDonough, of course. Who could forget
This is what
the Rick Nash trade was the biggest heist in Manhattan since we got it for $24 from the Indians.
Listen, this better be. Oh, I tell you, I want a 1, and I want something really good back. Something that's really gonna tickle my testiculars.
So let me ask you this: what if how about a number? What if you get a number 1 pick and a B+ to A NHL ready prospect? Is that what we're talking?
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
A player that's a little bit better than Lemieux, I would guess. A 1
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of. Yeah. That I could see. That I could easily see.
I mean, if we can get a third liner in here, or even a second, third liner guy that could really make an impact. But listen, I want 2 number 1s. I want. Listen, the Rangers got a commodity here. Let's do the right thing. But unless
if we could fleece freaking Kerfoot from Colorado for Kreider,
I like a lot of guys on Colorado
because pretty much Colorado and St. Louis are pretty much the
team. Well, you figure St. Louis probably thinks. Well, you're right. Tarasenko is not going to be there, so they may need some extra offense. That could be a good place to go. And Colorado, they need to do something. They've got there's some good guys. So yeah, you're right.
The only downside with St. Louis is if you get their first round draft pick, it's not a high one.
Right.
It's the bottom. It's the bottom.
Right. And then, it's going to be the same thing with the Bruins. If he goes to the Bruins,
true.
Any playoff team, it's going to be a low pick.
All right. So maybe you got to beef it up with players.
True.
So we'll see. Listen, I don't like to conjecture on trades, but with this, I'm just saying the prime directive. I like
that.
Is to absolutely fleece the team that we do the trade with. If they don't, I'll be pissed off.
So what about my Georgiev proposal?
I like where you're going with the Georgiev. I saw a lot of people agreeing with you, so I didn't think it was too crazy. You're now. I quoted you earlier. Is Frederick Anderson indeed hurt?
Yeah, he's not playing. He's not playing against the Rangers tomorrow. He's out. They just brought up some guys from
Mike Palmateer. Mike Palmateer is going to play for the Leafs.
Bob Sauvé.
Yuri Sira.
So the Maple Leafs called up some guy, and is he getting the start against the Rangers?
He's getting the shutout against the Rangers.
Right, exactly.
Well, listen.
I would love to get Kasperi Kapanen for Georgiev. I'd be doing cartwheels.
KK Part.
I can't see that.
I would do a cartwheel. Trust me.
Wow, I would love to see that. Hey, listen, that'd be a good deal. That would be a good deal.
Do you think our friend Mr. Happy is on his way out?
I don't know. He gets benched last night. I don't know what it is. They were saying that the coach, well, at least Joe Micheletti was.
I'm like, why? He scored a fucking goal. Why are you benching him? He scored a goal.
He smiled. He did the whole bit.
Yeah.
And they were praising him. All the coaching staff really likes what Buchnevich is doing. And the next thing you know, he's riding the pine.
Yeah.
I really think this coach is bipolar when it comes to Buchnevich. And some nights he's
maybe it's time for he's seeking greener pastures.
He really hasn't done much since earlier in the season, and he's we'll play 52 games. You get 10 goals.
You can package him with Kreider. You can package him with Georgiev. And then you get more shit.
That's true. It's true. So I don't know. That's right.
So we anxiously await the cartwheels.
It's quite a.
No, Mr. Schmiedenberg, sir.
But
These chicks, the stalkers, are they lookers or they're freaking heifers?
I'm not going to comment one way or the other. You know who they are.
What?
You know who they are. You know who they are. You've seen them. You know who they are.
What do you mean? Are they like members of the Purged? Can you say that?
No,
no,
they're not.
Really?
I think I know who you mean. Just people we've seen around,
Around the like, viewing parties?
They may have stopped by, but they're not like. I don't know. He didn't tell me, so I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah. If they're not from the Purged and they've
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
it. Because I want to put those people on fucking blast.
Don't worry about it.
So how many of these friggin' stalkers we're talking about? Give me a number of how many are they? How many are them? How many are there?
It's a handful.
About 5.
Six?
It was a handful. Yeah. 5, something like that.
Nobody has 6 figures.
Fucking
6. Don't worry about
That's
it.
why I hate
He's all upset.
Don't worry about it. I know he loves gossip. That's what it is. He loves gossip.
Who, me?
Yes, you love the dish. You're like Sex in the City. You're like one of those Sex in the City broads.
No, I'm like fucking Cindy. What's her name?
Cindy Adams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, remember her? Wow, that's a long time.
They classy.
Yeah.
Wasn't she married to Joey Adams? He was like 127 years old.
Yeah, he was a comedian. He was terrible.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anything else, Costa?
Are we having at least one more party? At least one?
Yes.
Yeah. We're shooting for
March, probably, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure that out.
March 27th, I think it is, or something like that. We just have to confirm the location.
Yeah.
Which we will do in the coming days.
Look, it's going to be what locations? There's only one place we go.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
We're thinking about other places.
Well, we did have someone else that possibly offered, but we're also up against March Madness again. So
that's right.
We got lucky last year, but we'll see. We'll see. We will have another viewing party. I wouldn't let you down. We would not let you down.
Or anybody else for that matter.
Wow.
We know you leave the house like 3 times a year, and 2 of them are viewing parties. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
All right.
Oh, hold on. That reminds me. What? When is WrestleMania is always on a Sunday, right?
Yes, it's the first weekend in April.
Okay. All right.
Just for shits and gigs, what Kasperi Kapanen's stats this year?
I think like 15, 20, 30.
Sucks. What do I want that guy for? I'm only kidding.
Garbage.
I don't want that Toronto trash.
10 goals, 19 assists.
Oh, Brett Howden numbers?
But he was just benched. No, he's better than Brett Howden. Better numbers than Brett Howden.
I know that.
Kapanen scratched from win over Senators after arriving late for practice.
Oh, another malcontent. That's what we need.
Fucking, he's Plaxico Burris. That's what we need. Odell Kapanen Jr.
Yeah, right now he's playing on the 3rd line with Pierre Engvall and Andreas Johansson.
What's he staying up all night on that booger sugar and can't get himself? What kind of snowblower are you trying to get us mixed up with here, Costa?
I don't know.
All right, Costa, we'll talk to you next week.
Does play the power play, though. Hey, speaking about that, Rangers, take care, Costa.
Yeah, bye.
How about that power play, Jim, man? The Rangers power play, last I checked, though, was 8th, 9th in the league.
Yeah, top 10.
Top 10, baby.
What, they have 2 power play goals last night?
Yeah.
Right?
Can't.
And last week they had that. What game was it? They had the 4-minute power play and scored on both ends of it.
Yeah, that's something to be positive about. Even though the wins aren't piling up. And I hope they don't blow this, Rangers got 5 in a row at home or whatever it was. Piss that away. They'll piss the season away. You might as well forget it. Why do they keep showing the Rangers in the playoff picture? They're not catching anybody. Why do we got to see that update? Whatever. That's all I got. I mean, I can't think of anything else to rant about.
You rant about this.
Oh, Cutsy, how are you, my friend?
He made it in.
Oh, he's drinking his rhubarb ginger ale.
Don't they call it America Dry up there?
No. There's a reason why I'm drinking this.
Okay, why's that?
As you should know, one of our beloved members, Lizzie Pendergraft, her Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so
that's right.
Red shirt for her.
Liz Pendergraft, a longtime listener and viewer of this show, was a Chiefs fan before it was supposed to be cool. And unlike I'm not going to say it, the Kansas City, Missouri football team.
Yeah, there was some confusion, apparently.
Yeah, apparently there was some confusion, but it's in the books now. You can't take it away from the Chiefs. The Chiefs came back. I watched the game. And
it's a good game.
Good game. Good game. I feel like San Francisco really lost my just a little sidetrack. My key play was when Tyreek Hill caught that long pass, and really that was the turning point of the game.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes did not play well the first 3 quarters, and then just turns it on in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's money. He's money, and he doesn't even know it.
Yes, very good. Listen, and their defense made some interceptions. It was a good Super Bowl.
Yep. And Paul, I would like to drink some real beer, Paul, but I don't have a job.
Right. He always drinks hard seltzer or ginger ale.
Are you out of work again? You're out of work again?
I lost my job the day after I appeared on your show with the rhubarb.
Was it because you appeared on the show?
Yeah, I appeared on the show on the Tuesday, and then the next day I lost my job.
But I'm saying, was it because you appeared on the show that you lost your job?
No, fucking retail politics.
Retail politics. Retail.
Well, that's the hard-hitting
out on the market. You got the resume on LinkedIn there. What are you doing?
So I got it on Licking Logs.
Got a couple of job agencies helping me out, so I'm doing what I can.
That's cool, man. That's what I always said. I even said it on the YouTube there, brother. You always try, man, and that's something to be admired.
Yeah.
You've watched a lot of Toronto Maple Leaf hockey. What can you tell me about Kasperi Kapanen?
Well, he's good when he wants to be. That's for sure.
All right. Well.
All right.
That's
really I don't know how you guys would fit Kapanen into the New York system. I mean, he wears he wears 24 like Kako, and he's got the same initials. That's going to confuse people, though.
I think Kako will change his name and his number once to accommodate Kapanen. No, I don't think he will. Yes. So okay. And what else you got? Anything?
Yeah. Well, I've been following the Rangers and all that, making all those posts saying that we can win 6 of the next 9. We're on pace. We won 2 of the first 3, so we'll be okay.
So you're still holding hope that the Rangers will make the playoffs?
Jeez, when did I say that? I wasn't holding hope.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Listen.
Dave Fibo not enjoying the show, but he's been sitting here for an hour and 45 minutes listening to it.
Yes. Listen, Dave Fibo. He's allowed to have an opinion.
Probably because of me. That's fine. I don't care.
No, I think he's saying it over just the whole show. Not just yours. That's just your segment, which I would agree with him. But yeah,
that's saying the Comac motor in.
Yeah. Stop reading. Get off the freaking thing. Blow him up. He's reading what's on the scroll rather than talk to us.
No.
No. Oh,
Guys.
okay. All right. Okay. Mercy.
Honestly. There's a good chance. I like the intro. I didn't like the fact you guys weren't in it, or I probably didn't see it. But I'm just saying that
we're not really in it.
I know, that's kind of stupid.
Why?
Hey, you see our mugs all the time.
Right. You watch the intro for a minute and a half, then you watch us for 2 hours. I mean, or an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. What do you need? What do you need to see us in a minute and a half for?
Yes.
Yeah, true. You're right. So
all right, you destroy
all right.
The bandwidth that you're eating up.
As exciting as watching you drink ginger ale is.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna say goodnight.
What do you have to say?
Can you do anything else? Like maybe eat some pretzels or something?
What? The Leafs are ripe for the picking tomorrow. I think Rangers can win this one.
Okay. All right, my friend.
Okay, I'll just leave.
Take care, my friend. Oh my God.
Cutter, as usual, to rave reviews. We love him.
Just derailing the whole entire thing.
We love him. Couldn't have a show without him.
I mean, if you're gonna video in, you're gonna check in, just bring up a topic.
He calls in just to show us that he's drinking ginger ale.
To toast Liz. Okay, I understand. All right, that's your starter. Welcome to the show. And now get to the question.
He could have done that in a half-a-minute video and just posted it to the group. He posts a YouTube video every 15 fucking minutes. He could have just done that.
I don't know. God, it just takes all the wind out of my sails. So,
yeah, but you know what? It's so much more fun to have him on video. It really is.
I enjoy him, but today it was just he sucked the life out of the whole thing.
That Staples in Canada, who knew it was so cutthroat, huh?
Oh yeah, that retail politics.
It's like Thunderdome. Canadian Staples is like Thunderdome.
It's like Wall Street over there.
Right. 50 typewriter salesmen enter, one man leaves.
Retail politics. Wow.
It all started when they put the Bic pens on sale.
Yep.
The next thing you know, Cutter's out of a job. Patty Duke said next week she's going to call in and put on nail polish live on the air.
Yes, very good. Wow. All right, Jim, I'm done.
All right, that'll do it. Good show. The intro's a big hit. Good crowd here tonight. You guys were a lot of fun, as always. Thanks to everybody that showed. Matt Morello, he brought him in for the 6 interviews. Cutter's the only guy who had to have 6 interviews for a job at Staples.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next week. We love you. Make sure you follow the show on YouTube and Facebook group, the whole bit.
Subscribe.
Eddie, always a pleasure.
Patreon.
Oh, yeah. www.patreon.com/Blueshirt Underground Radio. Sign up to sponsor the show. We love you. Thanks for.
Wow. Jim cut out. I guess I could say good night. Good night, everybody.